How do you get 4 chords per note? We're going to take a dominant 7th chord and concoct a little bit of an experiment with that. There is a link below here for my mailing list, which will send you the tabs right to your inbox to make this even easier to follow along with. So let's dive in. Let's take an A dominant 7th chord with our root position being on the 4th string. We're going to keep our root note, our lowest note here this whole time. So there are 4 notes in a dominant chord, which means we have 4 chords to get from this note A. This is our root position, it's A dominant 7th. So this exercise is going to, this game is going to use the 4 chord shapes for a dominant 7th chord, which if we're going to keep them all in the key of A, they look like this. And that's a great exercise to do when you want to work on just getting around the fretboard with different chord options. But how about we expand our ear a little bit and play a game where we use the A as our lowest note for all 4 chords. So this tests our shape knowledge, our theory knowledge, and our fretboard knowledge. So A7, right here. Which chord has A as its 3rd? F. Okay, so keeping A as the bottom note, we're going to be playing a first inversion F dominant 7th chord. How did I figure this out? Well, I knew that I wanted to keep A here, and F is right here. So then we got to find E flat and C. So that's how you do it. You also can think about the shape, okay, and slide it down to where you get F there. But it's more fun to do it this way, I think. Now, we have A dominant 7, we have F dominant 7. Which chord has A as its 5th? D dominant 7. So we keep our A here. D is our neighbor. We know this from our pentatonic scales. And then we need an F sharp, also a neighbor. And then C. And if you look at D to F, they share 2 notes. A to F share 1 note. A7 to F share A. F7 to D7 share A and C. And then we get 1 more chord out of this game. And which chord has A as the 7th degree, as the flat 7, since this is a dominant 7th chord? B dominant 7. Which is just this chord, this classic chord shape, but played on the inside. Don't play the root. So those 4 chords again: A dominant 7, F dominant 7, D dominant 7, B dominant 7, B dominant 7. You can do that with any note and with any chord shape or with any chord quality. So let's try it again with the dominant 7th chord in a different spot. Let's have E flat. Oh, sorry, that's D flat. Let's have E flat. So E flat, dominant 7. Now, the shapes stay the same, but the chords change. Which chord has an E flat or a D sharp as its 3rd? B. Root's here, 3rd is there. Which chord has a D sharp or an E flat as its 5th? A flat. There's our 5th, our root, our 3rd, and our flat 7. And then which chord has an E flat as its flat 7th? F. So while that might seem like it's simple, it's actually a little bit more taxing than you'd think, especially if you randomize it. I was working on this the other night and it sounded pretty neat to me, so I thought it might sound kind of cool to you. So let's do it this time. We're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to do it with a major 7th chord. So let's have B flat be our root note. So B flat, major 7, B flat, D, F, and A natural. Which chord has B flat as its 3rd? Which chord does have B flat as its third? G flat. So how do we get a G flat chord here? This is my least favorite chord shape. But it sounds so beautiful. It's my least favorite because it's hard for me to play. But we get our G flat, B flat, D flat, and F. That's actually, Joni Mitchell does this a lot, where she'll go, let's say our root position, our first chord is G flat. She'll go up major thirds, keeping the chord the same quality. So G flat to B flat. A lot of her songs do that. What other chords do we get? So what chord has B flat as its fifth? E flat. Now you'll notice that these chords all look very similar to our dominant 7 chords, except for this one because it's a little bit more convoluted. But all we're doing here is raising the 7th. So E flat dominant 7, there. E flat's major 7, here. And if you know that lives there, you can hang on to that for future chords. Okay, and then which chord has B flat as its major 7? B. So B flat, G flat, E flat, B. So it's a really fun game to play, I think. It opens up different possibilities that you might not think of otherwise. And it tests your knowledge of the fretboard, of shapes, of knowing how chords are built. So let's do one more with that major 7. Let's do F. No, let's not do F because of how it sits. Let's do D. So you have D major 7. Which chord has D as its third? Coincidentally, B flat. Which chord has D as its fifth? G major. And which chord has D as its not dominant 7, as its major 7th? E flat. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. There's also a link in the description below with a short survey, about 2 or 3 minutes, and if you fill it out, you can have a free lesson with me, about a 30-minute lesson where we can come up with some goals and some plans for you to help you progress along your musical journey. So now, let's dive into today's topic.